stopped at hand, so we're going to start at wrist. All right, we're at that 40 there. Ready to go. I'm going to ask him to put his hand flat down there and to make a fist. And I'm going to put his wrist, lift your hand, right in the center of the cassette. Can you see on the video? Make sure you include some metacarpals. Okay, PA wrist. Light up to here at least, and it'll mirror the same amount on the other side. Beep. Now we need an oblique wrist. You're going to roll up about halfway. Okay, and his arm's turning a little bit. I'm going to adjust that. Down just a little. Oblique wrist. Beep. And now for the lateral wrist, we need to get a 90-degree flexion here. So I'm going to ask you to bend your arm. Looks good. And turn it up sideways. No thanks. Is this your group?
I'm with.
Yes? No?
I don't know who's in here.
No, look.
Everyone with.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Mr. Blackman was looking for you anyways.
Go get him. Okay, so there's a lateral wrist. You got to make sure you've got this 90-degree. This does not matter yet because this isn't in the picture, right? The humerus, so it's okay that that's up. Just you still have to have a 90-degree flexion. Beep.
So are the radius and ulna superimposed
Yep.
down there?
Right on top of each other now.
Okay.
Okay, so we did this routine wrist, and now the radiologist says, I think I see a fracture of the scaphoid. So I'm going to ask him again to put his wrist up here. Okay, looks good. And now put your hand flat. I'm going to ask you to turn it out and ulnar deviate as much as possible. Looks good. And what we're going to take a picture of is right there. So that's right in the center of the cassette. So raise it up. It's going to be 10 to 15 degrees proximal. Coming your way. Right on the scaphoid. Leave room for a marker.
You said 10 to 15 proximal?
So this is a PA axial scaphoid. Ulnar deviation, 10 to 15 degrees proximal, and then the central ray goes right on the scaphoid, which is on the lateral side, right on the crack. When I say lateral, I mean anatomical, it's lateral.
And then distal is away.
Yeah, distal would be going that way, but we only have one x-ray later that goes that way. Okay, so that's a PA axial scaphoid. And then we want to do one, and he says he's in too much pain. 20 degrees. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to do modified Stetcher. So he says he can't do that, so we say, okay, we're going to place this here. He's going to place his hand on it so it puts a little bend, and I'm going to put this in the center of the cassette. No tube angle. Coming back at you. But on the exact same central ray.
That's the stitcher.
Yep, so this is the PA scaphoid, not axial, just PA scaphoid. It's called the modified Stetcher. And at the very end, I'm going to ask him, can you turn it out just a little bit? Okay, that's good. Beep.
So was that two projections or?
Two totally different pictures.
Okay, well, when you moved his hand, when you went from the first one, then you asked him to
No,
move,
that
it
was,
the
I hadn't
same?
beeped yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just, they say they can't do this, so we're like, okay, we're going to do the Stetcher, but if you can do any at all, it's very helpful, even this tiniest bit. All right, so our first tangential, we think that he might have, what's that called? Carpal tunnel, yes. And so we've got to check that. So I'm going to set this up first because it hurts. So 25 to 30 degrees, right? I'm going to come that way. That's far enough. Okay, so you're going to take your hand and pull it back. Okay, and get it down closest to the IR as possible. Good. And now we need to do a 10-degree medial rotation. All right, and look what a tangential looks like. See the central ray, the crosshairs where it is right now? Mm-hmm. Right now I'm penetrating nothing. All I'm going to do is move it in until it disappears. Mm-hmm. Do you see the shadow of that little butt crack right there? Mm-hmm. That's what we're taking a picture of, is that little butt crack. So that's where you want, and do you see how you can't see your central ray there? So you can't really look at it and say, put it there. It's just right now, I'm hitting nothing, and then make it disappear, in that little crack, and that's all you can do.
Tangential is just like skimming.
Skimming, yep. So we're not like entering and exiting, we're just kind of grabbing that little. All right, so this is the tangential inferior superior carpal canal or the Gainer heart method. Beat?
Good job.
Not comfortable, huh?
And that gets the median nerve as well?
It'll show, it doesn't show the nerve, it shows the carpal tunnel.
Okay, the tunnel.
And if you know if the tunnel went like this and flattened, it's gotta be impinging on that nerve. All right, forearm, gotta get a bigger cassette. Okay, so we need elbow and wrist. We're right there in the center of the cassette, looks good. I'm gonna move this way a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna turn, make that go straight up. That looks good. And then right now he's slouched down, so his, what's it called, humerus is on the same plane as the forearm. I've got crack and I've got crack.
Crack.
Lift just a little bit, nice slide.
Are we supposed to use the grid cap with this?
Nope, we have not done anything yet that's over 10 centimeters.
Oh, okay.
Next week we will, for
Okay.
sure. Okay, looks good, don't move, beep. And now we need a lateral of the forearm. So I'm gonna turn this, and you're gonna go 90 degrees and reach out there, and then bring this down. It's good, and that's a little bit more of a more than 90, so I'm gonna bring his arm out and change my cassette. So now that's 90. And some lateral. I feel like it's not 90 now. Okay. All right, lateral forearm. Beat. Make sure you have light past here and past the crack. Forearms are nice and easy. All right, what is next? Elbows. All right, you'll do millions and millions of elbows. 10 by 12. I'm gonna stretch all the way out. I'm gonna put the crack right in the center of the cassette. Okay, looks good. And now just line your light up with the arm right in the crack. Show my collimation border on all 4 sides. Make sure the hand is supinated.
Which one is this one?
AP elbow.
So
So
the
the
elbows are the same as the hands. You only put the marker for which one it is.
Yeah, this is his right. No matter what you do, this is his right.
Okay.
Beat. Even if I put the right marker over there, that's still his right arm, right?
Right.
Doesn't matter.
It's only like when you're here.
Excellent.
Yeah, when you've got both sides, that's when you have to decide. If you're doing the right, you're just doing the right. Okay, stretch out again. And now we need to do an external. So I'm going to start way on this side of the cassette and have you roll all the way out. And we need to get this 45 degrees.
Oh.
Uh-huh. This is when patients are like, I can't, I'm going to fall, it hurts. Thumb is touching the table, 45 degrees. Beat. Relax. You need to check that interepicondylar plane and make sure it's at 45. Okay, stretch out again. And now we need a internal. So we're going to take your hand and just pronate it. Now see, when he did that, his didn't go 45 degrees. So I'm going to, there we go. Get that in 45 degrees. Beat. And now we need a lateral, so we're going to do the 90-degree bend. Wrist up. And flatten that down. Lateral elbow. Beat.